Good morning, Power Parents. This Self-Care Sunday, we are talking about money. And we have so much programming around money, so much mind BS telling us to spend and not to spend. And right now, especially where I live in Ontario, the cost of living has like super skyrocketed. So I am so excited to be tackling this topic today, which is making decisions around money, because I find that to be harder than ever. So I am thrilled to welcome Cyndi Conway-Booth to the show. Yay, welcome, Cyndi. And
Hi, thanks so much.
uh, and what I love most about Cyndi's approach to money is this focus on making decisions with confidence. So Cyndi's actually tackling the mind BS as she helps her clients move through these money decisions. So Cyndi, what advice do you have for busy parents about money confidence?
Yeah, so money confidence really starts with your mindset. You have to really understand what some of the programming is that you have in order to start to build your money confidence. A lot of us get stuck in this idea that, money is evil or I'm not good with money. And we start telling ourselves all these little stories, and then we end up passing them down to our kids or generations. I mean, we have generational things that we've been passed down. And so we have all this story, and we need to understand that in order for us to really be good at making the decisions we need to make when it comes to our money. And as a family unit, it can be even more challenging because you have all different things that are coming in that can impact your decisions, from kiddos needing to go to the doctor, or you needing to save for a new car or a house or whatever that might be. There's so many different things. And so I work with people on really trying to build that money confidence. So when those decisions come up, you know exactly where you need to go, exactly what you need to do, and you feel good about doing it. So it's really about getting the knowledge and the skills and aligning it with the mindset so you feel empowered to make the decisions you need to make.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And it's interesting because a lot of these stories that we tell ourselves are completely subconscious. Like we don't realize that they're stories, right? To us, they're truths. So how do you help people uncover what's a story and what is something that they should actually listen to, like an intuition?
Yeah, I think that's really important. And a lot of that starts with doing a lot of self discovery from when we were kids, because that's where all of the seeds get planted. And it's so important to start that education process. And really, it's a re education because we've learned things from our parents. And so we've created this whole identity. Now, I was a complete opposite of what my parents taught. My parents were overspenders, they struggled with having money. I went the extreme when I became an adult because I'm like, I'm not going to live like that. I'm going to do this. And I went to complete opposite. And I had to learn that I created this brand new story of I'm an extreme saver. That makes me a powerful person because I have all this money in the bank. But I never enjoyed my money. I never got to use it. I never got to really experience what it meant. And so I had to start peeling back layer by layer by layer. And I actually created what is called a family money tree, where I pulled out aspects of where my story started coming from. And that's where we start, is pulling out those layers and then going, okay, so this is where this came from. This is why I'm feeling this way. And really figuring out what the emotions are versus like the intuition side of, when we get that hit in our stomach and we're like, this doesn't feel good, that's just telling us something's not aligned with what our values are or what we are trying to accomplish. And our intuition is really important when we are making money decisions, because when those little red flags come up, that's just a sign of, hey, I need to look into this more. So that's different from a story you're telling yourself, because your story is now rooted in your beliefs and you get stuck and you keep repeating the same patterns and you're like, why am I still here? Why am I still doing this? And that's where you have to start learning how to break the habit cycle.
Yeah, exactly. That's very similar to what I do, where, we have these stories that we tell ourselves, and then we have, which I call our program self, and then we have this intuition, which I call our true self. And I try to get people away from the stories and into connecting with their true self. And so you talked about, this family money tree, which is cool. What's your process for getting people out of the story and into that trust in their inner wisdom?
I think part of it starts with we have to do the work of deep diving back into our past. I think that's really crucial because we need to know where it started from in order to start the healing process. And that I do a lot through self-discovery questions. You can do personal journaling. Some of it's just talking through it because a lot of times we don't realize what some of the things are that are holding us back until we actually just start saying it. And that's where we start to create the affirmation of, okay, this is where this started from. Okay, I understand it. Now we can start the acceptance, and then we can start to move past it and start doing work that says, I'm going to rewrite this story, and this is what my new story is going to look like. This is what my identity is going to shift from. So instead of saying I'm bad with money, I'm now going to say I'm good with money, or I am excellent with money, because I'm going to speak these things into my mind that this is going to be my new behavior. And then I do habits that start to shift those and create that dynamic for myself. And it's important to start small. Don't go and make a bunch of changes, because just like when we change our diet or something like that, we don't go and change everything and then we fall off the wagon in 2 weeks. We want to make slow progress changes so we can feel good about it and we see the repetitiveness and we feel confident about it.
That sounds so empowering, being able to choose what we want our story to look like and
Mm-hmm.
how we want to live and how we want to show up. I absolutely love that. Now, are you able to walk us through an example, like an example of somebody who came to you with a certain story, how you uncovered it, how that shifted, and the new story that they chose for their lives?
Yeah. So one of the clients that I worked with, she struggled with shopping, excess shopping. And she's like, I just don't understand where it's coming from. And when we started digging back into her past, it had a lot to do with that. Now she had what she considered excess money to spend. She wanted to enjoy that money, and it became this new habit because growing up, she didn't have anything. Her family didn't have anything. They lived very, very meekly, and she wanted a much different lifestyle. So she created this whole concept for herself that anytime she had extra money, it was to go and enjoy and do. And so when we started digging into it, she was creating all this debt. So now you've got a snowball effect of, I want to enjoy my money, but now I'm creating this negative side of things. So we had to really figure out how to balance that I want to spend to I want to save, and create a middle ground for her so she felt safe in being able to do what she wanted, but also being able to exercise some restraint. And so we had to create some ground rules for her to help her to recognize when she was going overboard and when she could tailor it back. Because I think the important thing is when you have a love of something, it's not that you just cut it out, you don't do it anymore. It's you find a way to incorporate it where you're not overdoing. And we were able to help her minimize her debt and help her curb the need, because we started identifying the triggers and the emotions that were associated on why she was overspending. And that all stemmed from her growing up without and feeling like material possessions were the key thing for her to feel safe.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that feeling safe.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's what our mind does, right? Our
Mhm.
mind, its sole purpose is to keep you safe. And you talked about your, childhood and how you saw this situation that you were in, and your mind went, nope, in order to keep me safe, I need to do this.
Yeah.
And, the same thing with your client there, in order to keep me safe, I need to do this. And so that is such a huge part of everybody's experience, right? Because we have those programs for everything in our life and we don't even realize it. So I think it's really critical that you use that word a couple of times in making this shift, because as we make the shift, it's critical that you feel safe throughout the shift. And that's what you brought up. And so I love that.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit more about your story, a little bit more about how you came to be this amazing money confidence coach?
Yeah, so it started out my husband and I started our own financial journey pretty much after we got married. We entered our marriage debt free, bought a house, did all of the normal things that married couples do. And all of a sudden, I needed back surgery. My husband needed surgery. We had things go wrong in our house. So everything compiled within the first year and a half, we compiled $40,000 in debt. Just blink of an eye. And all we knew is this wasn't how we wanted to live, but we didn't know how to get started. And so we went through a lot of blood, sweat, and tears trying to figure this out. I had no idea there were people out there to help us to navigate this, help us to figure out how to dig out. So we went through this and did it on our own. We've paid off over 60,000 in debt at this point. And what I learned in the pandemic was there were people out there to help with this. And I was like, oh, I love this. I want to be able to do that and be able to impart some of the wisdom that I've learned and also learn new techniques. I'm always growing in this role because unfortunately, this is not one of those things where you learn it and you're good. You constantly are building on it and constantly learning new things and different approaches. And I love being able to share that specifically with women because women often are forgotten in the financial industry. And so it's empowering to be able to share those stories and be able to share those tools and really empower women to be able to feel like they can do this, they can master this as well.
Wow. Yeah, that is super powerful. I can hear your passion as you're talking about it. And so I'm very curious, if you have something that somebody can get started today, like a top tip that our busy parents who are struggling with, I like my teenagers eat more than our mortgage every month, so we have this, new financial crunch that is a big challenge for us. And so if you were to give me just one tip to get started today, what would it be?
I think the one tip is if you are struggling financially right now, is to sit down and have a conversation with your partner first and foremost. If you're a single parent, have a conversation with a trusted person that you know can help you to kind of navigate through this. Because the most important thing is to make sure that you are staying connected together and that you are doing this together and that you are getting the support you need because it can be scary to go at it alone. And so it's important to have open dialogue and have a safe open dialogue. I can't stress that enough because money is typically a top contention for most couples, most relationships. And it is one that you can navigate. I always recommend if you're going to have a conversation, go to neutral ground. Do not do it in your home. Go out, find a place that you both feel comfortable and safe speaking and have those conversations. And if you got kiddos, involve your kiddos at some point so they can know what's going on, age appropriately, of course, always. But have them part of the conversation because when they're part of the conversation, they want to help and be part of that as well. So if there is a struggle with money, they can do that. And I think that's a great way to really create a awesome family dynamic that unfortunately I didn't grow up with. And it's one that I've changed in my relationship.
Yeah, that's amazing for parents. Like we think of money as something we need to hide from our kids, right? We don't want them to worry about it. We don't want them to think
Yeah.
about it. We don't want them to know we're stressed about it. But really having those open conversations can be empowering and it can
Yeah.
show them, some tools and some skills that will help them as they go through their lives, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
love that idea of encouraging this as a family.
Yeah.
Now, so when we chatted earlier, you talked about this money confidence booster that you have. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so if you feel inclined to join my Facebook group to learn more about money, confidence, money mindset, and things like that, I offer a free gift to anybody that joins, which is called a money confidence booster. And what it is it is a worksheet for some self discovery to figure out where your level of money confidence is today. And most of us don't realize that we have more money confidence than we actually let on. And so this kind of helps you just to navigate some of your past beliefs and learning about doing some goal setting and just really just doing a little self discovery so you can feel a little more confident in what you're doing, that you already have some tools in place. So it's just about giving you just a little bit of a boost. So as you start to go on your journey to build your money confidence, you already have some things in place. So it's really just about that self discovery to go, aha, I actually have some.
Cool. So what's the name of your group? How can people find it?
Yeah, so it's Make Money Simple. That is the best way to find it, is called Make Money Simple. And that is going to be the easiest way to find my group. Also, I have a Facebook business page called Make Money Simple Financial Coaching. And then you can also reach out to me directly if that is something you feel inclined to do. And my name is Cyndi Conway-Booth. So
All
that's how
right.
you can find me on Facebook.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Cyndi. This has been super helpful. I am definitely interested in getting this money confidence booster. I could use a little bit of confidence boosting at any given time. Any last
Absolutely.
words for our parents before we sign off?
Just be open to having money conversations. I think that's the most important thing whenever you're starting a journey.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today for our Self-Care Sunday. And I hope that all of you power parents have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thank you.
Ready to up-level your boundary game? Discover your personal boundary style at mindbs.ca/boundary style.